So this particular problem statement is banking credit risk project. So let me give you the link for this particular code file that I am looking at. I'm pasting the link in the chat window. While I'm uploading the video to LMS, I will try to also give you this file as a copy of this. You can use that IPython notebook file as well. So what you need to do is the link that I have given, you have to open it in a fresh window. So once you click on that link, you will be able to open this particular file. The dataset is also given here. So tell me, what are the stages in machine learning project? What are the stages in ML project? What are the stages? Stage one in any ML project would be what? Can you recollect? What exactly is stage one of any ML project? There are 6 phases in any machine learning model building project. What are the phases? The first phase is the problem statement
Of goal.
or the goal or the objective. We should clearly define what is the problem statement. So if somebody asks you to explain this project, you should not directly saying there is a logistic regression model that I have built, or I have used more technique, or I have used this technique, that technique. That's not the right way to explain. If somebody asks you to explain the project in the interview, what you should say, where you should start. Let us suppose you're showing some e-commerce project or healthcare project or credit risk project or a banking project. If somebody asks you to explain the project, what is the first statement that you have to make? What is the starting point to any project explanation? You should always start with what? You should always
Understand
start
the problem statement.
problem statement. You have to explain the recruiter what is the problem statement. In a project that I was involved, the problem statement was to find out the defaulters using a dashboard, or we want to visualize some of the fraud transactions using a dashboard, or we want to predict who are the customers that are going to default, or we want to build a credit risk model. For that, we are building this model, or we want to visualize something, or what is your objective, that you have to clearly state in the beginning. Stage two is what? Once you define the objective, data exploration and validation. You validate the data, you explore the data, whether see whether it is accurate data or not. During this time, you will find some issues. So what is the next stage? Data cleaning and preparing it for analysis. So when somebody asks you to explain your ML project, you should design your explanation based on these phases. First, you talk a couple of points about objective. Then you talk about some of the data columns, some of the points, how much is the data, how large is the data. Give an example of a couple of columns in the data. Give an example of some of the issues that you have faced, and then what was the cleaning technique that you have used. That's what you have to talk about. And then next phase is model building. What model you have built, you have to talk about. Next phase is model validation. What is the validation technique that you have used? What are the issues that you have faced? Class-wise accuracy, and then class imbalance handling, all of those you have to discuss. The last phase is model deployment. Even if you don't talk about it, it is still fine, because it is not expected that you know DevOps or any of the model deployment. Front end, maybe you're not aware of it. At least even the first phase, if you do not talk much, that is fine. These 4 phases: data exploration, validation, data cleaning, preparing it for analysis, model building, model validation, you are expected to know end to end 100% of whatever is in these phases. So these are the various phases for machine learning model building, which you have to talk about. Out of these, even if you can make 5 to 10 statements, you'll be able to speak like 2 minutes, and then the rest of the questions will go on specific to your overall project. Let us see this project. So what is the problem statement? The problem statement is about building a credit risk model. It will find out, this model will predict whether a customer is a good customer or a bad customer. Before giving a loan itself, we want to predict whether the customer is a good customer or a bad customer. We are giving a credit score to him. Okay. What are the key factors to determine the credit score? What are some of the variables that you will find? You will find payment history, credit utilization, length of credit history, how long, like credit utilization means how much he has used out of the credit limit he has. Payment history, how many times he has made the payment, how many payments has been in time, how many payments he has made late, all of those. the length of credit history. Length of credit history means how long you have been holding the credit cards and loans. Credit mix, the type of credit cards, mortgages, auto loans, different type of products that you are having. New credits, newly opened credit cards recently, all these will actually matter. So 35% payment history, 30% credit utilization, 15% length of credit history, these all get mixed up into credit risk model building or your final credit score. This is the data set that we will be using for building the model. So even though I have given you the code, I will try to start from the scratch and I'll try to do it in this particular classroom. I will start from this particular place without any code. And then later on, while you go through this video, when you're practicing, I also encourage you to start from the scratch. So this is the location of the dataset. As of now, you can see what code that I'm using. You can execute that, or you can also try writing it. But later on, you can start from the scratch. So here is the location of the data. Usually a dataset is given to you, and a data dictionary is also given to you. Data dictionary contains information about the variables. So here is the data dictionary. So what is the variable name? What is the description of the variable? Debt ratio, what is its description? Monthly income, what is its description? Like that. Variable is given and the description is also given. So let us try to import the data set. So this is data dictionary and this is the actual data set name. If I click on this, it will try to open it here itself. This is the dataset name. So let me try to get that data. So first, let me start with data exploration, data val. So problem statement is phase one. So phase two is data exploration, validation, and then maybe data cleaning. So let me import the dataset first. For importing, I will write import pandas as PD. So I will say my dataset name is loans PD dot read underscore CSV. The location where I have copied it from, that location I'll try to give it here. You say run anyway. This is the data set. As soon as you import the data, what is the command that you're going to use for getting some idea on the data? Can you give me some of the examples of the commands that we should use immediately after importing the data?
Data frame dot shape.
Data frame
Data
dot
frame
shapes. That's a good option. That will give us what? That will give us number of
number
rows,
of
number
rows.
of columns, right? And then
Yes. Data frame dot info.
that is also a good option. That will give us, in fact, much more information like what is each column name, how many non-null values are there. Look at this. Monthly income has some null values, number of dependents have some null values, like that. Data frame dot shape, data frame dot info, all of them
Data
will.
frame dot columns.
Data frame dot columns will give us the column names, which will be anyway available in info. So we can also use data frame dot columns if you want to get the column names. These are all the column names. If you still want to have a look at the data, maybe you can
Dot
Head and
dtypes.
tail.
dot
Data
head
types.
dot tail is what you can use. Dot head will give you first
First
couple
five.
of rows, okay, and then dot tail, like we have serious delinquency in last 2 years, which is the target variable, and then you have monthly utilization, age, number of times 30 to 59 days past due, debt ratio, monthly income. All these are the variables that we have in this data set. Then once you have seen all these basic details, then you go to step-by-step data exploration. So in the step-by-step data exploration, what we do is first we take categorical variables, categorical and discrete variables, and then we explore them. How do we explore categorical, discrete variables? Categorical variables and discrete variables, we explore them by look, looking at the
Frequency.
frequency tables,
Frequency table.
isn't it? And then we go to continuous variables. How do we explore continuous variables?
Quantiles and box plot.
Continuous variable, we will look at the percentiles. Percentiles is calculated by using a function called quantile, and box
Box
plot.
plot.
Percentiles is sufficient, box plot is kind of extra. So let us start with categorical variables first. Then we will go to continuous later on. Categorical discrete variables exploration. So first of all, let us list down what are the categorical variables. First, let me print the column names. These are all the columns that I have. So what are the categorical variables? The variables that are not continuous. That means they may take only limited values. So if you see serious delinquency in last 2 years, that is a discrete variable. It is taking only 0 or 1. Age can be discrete or continuous. Number of times 30 to 59 days past due, but not worse. That means number of late payments or 1 month late payments. That could be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of times 1 month late payments are also discrete. Monthly income, debt ratio, these are all continuous variables. Number of open credit lines and loans. Number of loans can be 0, 1, 2. Number of times 3 month late. That is also discrete. Number of real estate loans, discrete. These are all the discrete variables. So for these discrete variables, let us have the frequency table. So let me start with the first variable. I would say loans data, serious delinquency in last 2 years, value counts. These many are zeros, these many are ones. In fact, this is a target variable. How many people are seriously delinquent? 10,000. How many of them are not seriously delinquent? That means good customers are 1,39,000. Bad customers are 10,000. Is that a regular scenario? Good customers are more than the bad customers. Does it happen in
Yes.
Yes, sir.
reality?
Yes,
That
sir.
is how
Yes,
mostly it is. Now, the next variable that I'm looking at it is age variable. So I would say loans age dot value underscore counts. I have to give it this way.
List.
So we are accessing the column, age columm from this. So age is taking multiple values. So sometimes it is considered as a continuous, sometimes it is considered as discrete. It's very difficult to understand the output that is given over here. Maybe at a later point of time, maybe I'll take a note saying that look at the percentiles to get a better idea. All right. Look at the percentiles to get a better idea later on. Then next variable is number of times 30 to 59 days past due, but not worse. That is also known as 1 month late. In this is 2 years data. In 2 years, how many customers have paid 1 month late? That means out of all the customers, there are 5,000 customers who have paid 1 month late once, or 1 month late twice, 1 month late thrice. So within 24 bills, how many times it happens that how many bills you paid 1 month late? So we will say loans data, number of times 30 to 59 days past due, but not worse, value underscore counts. So this is 24 months data. Somebody, if everybody pays or if a person pays everything on time, that means he was never 1 month late. This is known as simply 1 month late. 30 to 59 days past due means days past due, DPD. 30 to 59 means 30 plus. He paid after 30 plus days. So that is also known as 1 month late. So 0 means a person has never paid 1 month late. There are 1,26,000 such customers. They paid all the 24-month bills on time. There are 16,000 customers. They missed the bill. How many times they missed the bill? Out of 24 bills, how many times they missed the bill?
One time.
One time. There are 4,000 customers. They missed the bill. But this was little different than these 16,000. What did these 4,500 customers do? How many times did they miss the bill?
2 times.
Time.
2 times. Now, is it a little more dangerous than this one? Person missing the bill
Yes.
once versus
Yes.
person missing the bill twice. So who is little dangerous? These guys or these guys? Little
Two.
dangerous?
4,000.
598. These are little dangerous. Now look at this. What about these 1754 guys?
3 times better.
They are 3 times they miss the bill. But did they pay the bill? Did they pay the bill? They missed the bill, but 1 month late, we paid the bill. What about these 747 guys? They missed the bill 4 times.
4 times. 4
Now
times.
look at these guys, 12 people. Can you tell me what is like why these 12 are very dangerous? Tell me what happened with these 12 guys.
9 times better.
It's 9 times.
Out of 24 bills, if somebody is missing the bill 9 times, do you consider them very risky? Are they credit kind of little pressurized?
Yes.
Is
Yes,
there a
sir.
high chance for them to get defaulted?
Yes.
Yes.
So like that, I think the most dangerous one is this one customer. Why? What's wrong with this one customer? Tell me. Why
Out of
we consider?
24.
So
13 times.
13 times he paid late. Now there is something called 96 and 98. Is it possible to miss the bill 98 times?
No,
No.
sir.
No.
No.
So there is something wrong with 96 and 98. So we are going to make a note here. So there is something like 96 comma 98. These are some kind of errors in the variable. Why they are called errors? Because in 24 months, how can you be 96 times late or 98 times late? So we need to clean the data. Do you agree? We need
Yes,
to
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
clean the data. Later on, can you share this as an experience? If somebody asks you, tell me some of the issues that you have faced with some of the variables. Will you be able to answer those questions if somebody asks you like that? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The next variable is number of open credit lines and loans. A loan is known as open credit line versus loan. Loan, you know that, personal loan. What is an open credit line? For example, you have a credit card that is known as open credit line. Is a credit card open credit line for you? That means can you take the credit at any point of time if you have a credit card? If you have a credit card, can you quickly take 10,000 loan from the bank by swiping it? If you're swiping it, it's like a loan a bank is giving you. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let us suppose on Amazon you have purchased something and they have given you EMI option and you have taken that EMI option. Is that considered as an open credit line?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
number
Yes.
of open credit lines. Tell me if there are very higher number of open credit lines and loans. Let us suppose customer A has around 20 open credit lines or loans. Customer B has only two credit lines or loans. Who is risky?
The
Customer
customer.
A.
Customer
Customer
A.
A. Like somebody is taking too many loans and lines. So let us see what is the variable looking like. So I would say my loans data, number of open credit lines and loans. Who are these 13,614 guys? How many open credit lines and loans they have?
6.
6.
6.
Six. In US, it is pretty common to have multiple credit cards. Do you agree? Is it okay to have three credit cards, one or two personal loans? So six is okay, not a big deal. Seven is also fine. So four, five, six, seven, eight, that is very casual over there. People will have four, five credit cards just like that, two, three loans just like that. But what is dangerous? Now look at this. And somebody has zero credit lines and loans. That is also dangerous. So look at this. Can you tell me what are these 194 guys? 194 people are whom?
They
194
have
people are
taken
those guys
27 loans.
having how many? Having
27.
27.
27
27
loans.
credit
Credit line.
lines and loans. Is that a regular normal thing to have, or do you think we should
Outlier.
look at it? It looks like an outlier. Now tell me, who are these? Look at these extreme guys. Who are these 88 people? These 88
30
people,
times.
they
Having
have
30
30
times
30
loans.
loans and lines. So the variable name is number of open credit lines and loans. So they have 30 loans. Now look
So why
at
zero is dangerous?
that means somebody has no credit history as well. Oh, dangerous, hai na? Let us suppose if you apply for a loan, you should have taken one or two loans. Zero open credit lines and loans means you have zero credit cards, you have zero loans. Is it little dangerous? Will I be suspicious on you? So in
No.
US, it is a rule that everybody should have a little bit of credit line. And if you have no credit card, I am the first one who is giving you the credit card. People will be considering that as a little risk. Okay.
Okay.
So even at least one credit card or loan you should have. Two is good. So the regular one that you see is three, four, five. Like even in this portfolio, you see that a lot of people, 13,000, 13,000, 12,000 plus. Most of the people will have six, seven, four, five, six, seven. These are the number of lines and loans they have. Having no credit card is also a little dangerous in US. Like having no loan at all, no credit card at all. That means you have no credit history at all. How do I track whether you're a good customer or bad customer? Now that is little dangerous. That's why. Okay. Are you getting why, what is the logic behind this?
Yes, sir.
Now somebody let us see these two guys. Who are these two customers? These are two special customers. They have how many credit cards and loans as of now?
57
7.
credit
57.
cards.
Now is that considered as an outlier?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are some outliers present in this data. Outliers present in number of credit lines and loans variable. I think maybe anything which is over 20 because 5, 6, 7, 8 is normal. Anything above 20, we can consider as an outlier. Maybe in India, if you're living, what do you consider as a higher limit? Just for a discussion sake, if I ask you, roughly what can we consider in general in India? How many credit cards and loans together mixed can we take as,
More
let's
than
say,
10?
more than 10
10.
is a good
10.
idea in India, isn't it? Because in India, usually you have one credit card or two or three. You have one, two, three loans. And then if you go extreme, maybe you have five, six loans and three, four credit cards. Anything above that, we can call them as outlier. But since it is US, I'm taking anything about 20. Okay. Number of credit
चलो
cards and loans. Again, this number, we don't decide it. Who gives this number? Tell me whether what should be the slightly upper limit that you should consider. Who gives that number usually? Is it
The
data,
regulator?
Regulator.
the regulator or the business partner? Do we decide as a data analyst what should be the number?
no
No. As
No.
a data analyst, you don't decide it. Okay. Are you with me? Who gives you that overall number? Your business partner will give you that. Okay. Makes sense. Right now, for the sake of discussion, I have written it. But in reality, when you're working in a company, you will be talking to your business partner. They will give you an idea. You know what? Maybe above this, we should consider that as an outlier. Then we will be cleaning this later on. So this needs cleaning. This variable needs cleaning. This variable needs cleaning. Yeah, somebody was about to ask a question. Please let me know. Somebody was about to ask a question. Okay. Now, let's carry on to the next variable, which is number of times 90 days late. I think what is the variable? So number of times, this one is done. 30 to 15. And debt ratio is continuous, monthly income continuous. This one is done. Number of times 90 days late. 90 days variables will come to it later on. So the variable name is number of times 90 days late. So 90 days late means 3 months late. Somebody paid the bill, but 3 months late. Now, what is happening with these 5243 guys? They paid 3 months late only once. Once it happened to them. For some people, it happened twice. For some people, it happened thrice. For some people, it happened 4 times. Look at these five guys. Tell me what happened with those guys. They paid 3 months late. How many times did that happen to them in their whole
11 times
11 times? Is that dangerous? 11
yes
times you are paying 3 months late. That is considered dangerous. But again, there are 96 and 98. Is it possible that somebody is paying late like 96 times or 98 times?
No. No.
So
Not for sure.
no, it's because it is only 24 months data. In 24 months, you have 24 bills. Max to max, max to max. How many times you can pay late? All the 24 bills,
24.
24 times. But 96, comma 98 are errors. This needs to be cleaned. All right. After that, we will go to the next variable. The next variable is number of real estate loans. What is the difference between open credit lines and loans versus number of real estate loans? Real estate loan means home loans.
Property for any property we have taken.
So these are the home loans. So somebody like, what is this 56,188 mean? They have zero.
I don't have take
They
any
don't
previous.
have any home loan. 52,000 have one home loan, 31,000 have two home loans, 6,000 have three home loans. Like you can see the numbers are reducing. Like having four loans, home loans is a big deal. That's why very less people are there. Five home loans is also a big deal. Six, seven, eight. Can you see these numbers are reducing and they are reducing for a reason on the right hand side? Is that making sense to you when you read it like that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it fair to say somebody having eight home loans, 93 people are there, are very, very less compared to the number of people having two home loans? There are 31,000 people who have two home loans. There are only 93 people who are having eight home loans. Is that the regular population? Even in India, does that happen like that? People
Yes.
having eight home
right
loans are much, much lesser than people having one home loan. It's very regular, isn't it? Having no home loan, one home loan, two home loan. This is regular. Most of the population is here. But people having eight home loans, nine home loans, 10. So the numbers are reducing. Like you can see, these are like outliers. Somebody is having 32 home loans. That's very, very rare. So what do you consider as
Outliers.
outliers, isn't it? Like, can we say maybe until here you can see 10 home loans? Shall we keep it as a upper limit just for the sake of our discussion? Max to
Yes, sir.
max, somebody can have 10 home loans. So some people have more than 10 home loans.
Are considered outliers.
Yeah, are considered as outliers. Again, are we deciding it as a data analyst? No, that's not a good idea. After discussing with the business partner. Okay. Number of home loans. After that, there is one more variable called 2 month late frequency. We have seen 1 month late, 3 months late. Now there is 2 months late. So in the loans data, you have number of times 60 to 89 base 2, but not worse. Again, there is no discussion about this one. Again, 96, 98 are the issues. So there is something wrong. Values. What are the wrong values? Somebody is 96 times 2 months late. Somebody is 98 times 2 months late. That is impossible. Okay. So you have wrong values. The last variable in categorical discrete is number of dependents. So I would say loans, number of dependents. So 86,902 people have zero dependents. Is that regular, usual? That is fine. Like around 26,000 have one dependent, 19,000 have two dependents, 9,000 have three dependents, 2,000. Like, can you see these numbers are reducing? This is sounding familiar. This is the way it should be.
Yes,
Like
sir.
having more and more dependents, less people will be like that. I think the largest value is 20. Somebody has 20 dependents. Since there's only one record, do I need to worry about it? Is it a very big
No, sir.
deal? One
No,
out of
sir.
1,50,000, I don't really care. Somebody has 13 dependents, that is also fine. There is only one guy. If there are 100, 200, 500 people, then I can consider that, okay, this is a little serious. But is this one record going to impact your whole analysis? Or can you leave it as it is? That's fine, we can leave it as it is. But only thing that we need to be a little careful is if you try to see, there is one point that we must not forget, that number of dependents looks clean, but it has one more issue. What is it? In the info that I found that it has null values. If you want to know how many null values are there, you will write the variable name, loans data, number of dependents is null dot sum. It will give us the count of null values. How many null values are there? 3924. So 3,900 and is this a very small number that I should ignore? It's a large number.
It's a
Values
large number.
are null. 3,000 records is like a big deal. So these are all the discrete or categorical variables. So let me explain the project until now what we have done. We are building a credit risk model that will predict whether a customer is going to be defaulter or not. We have used variables like number of late payments, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month late payments, number of real estate loans, number of open credit cards and loans, number of dependents, number of what else we have used? We have also used number of real estate loans, number of times 1 month late, 2 month late, 3 month late. We have used all these variables for making the prediction about the target variable, which we are going to build the model. As part of data exploration, we looked at their frequency table and we found what are all the issues. We have listed them down. Next step, what is the next step? Once you're done with the discrete variables, you will go to what? You will go to continuous variables. Yes or no?